want to show you this one textual variant that is really fascinating, that you may not know is due to no Greek evidence whatsoever. And it has to do with Revelation 22:19. If any man shall take away from the words of the book of this prophecy, God shall take away his part out of the book of life, and out of the holy city, and from the things which are written in this book. Well, we have in the Greek not book of life, but tree of life. That seems to have a bit of a different emphasis, don't you think? God shall take away his part out of the book of life versus the tree of life. One has to do with whether that person is apparently even saved. That would be the book of life. Their name is written in the book of life. And it sounds as if you say that God will take away his part out of the book of life, that someone could lose their salvation. That's how this sounds. But there's no Greek manuscripts that say book of life. Not one. Except for a couple of manuscripts that came after Erasmus's published text. And yet, book of life is what was published in the King James Bible, not tree of life. So how did this come about? Well, it's an inner Latin corruption. You have libro for book and ligno for tree. And so consequently, it's just two letters difference, but in Greek the words are completely different. And consequently, this is something that happened within the Latin copying tradition, that they were writing out ligno, and somebody then wrote libro at one point, because of the book of life that is already, or the book that's written right after this. So you see book earlier in the verse, you see book at the end of the verse, and so somebody says, it must be talking about book, or they just weren't paying attention and they write book instead of tree, right in the very place where now it affects whether we are eternally secure or not. King James Bible has that, but modern translations don't. So, that was the biggest mistake that he made, that he finally owned up to it and said, okay, well, not everything was in the Greek, I did have to back translate from Latin. He was apparently trying to hurry to get his New Testament published before the Complutensian Polyglot came out. And this is what the King James is based on. Now, the King James is a great translation. It was a terrific translation in its day, but it's not perfect.